So let's talk about what happens when you've got variables in your radical. I like to separate it and deal with the square root of 60 by itself, the square root of a to the 7th, square root b to the 10th, and then square root c to the 11th. Now there's a couple ways you could do this. You could handle this as a square root, and you could just break it apart as far as it will go, like this. And we notice we've got a 2 squared, a 3, and a 5. That means that the 2 is going to cancel, but the 3 and the 5 will not. So you're left with a 15 under the radical. You could break down this a 7 times, and then just circle your groups of 2 if you needed to. And you'll notice you get 3 of them outside of your radical and just 1 underneath. You can also remember off the top of your head from class that the square root of x can also be written as x to the 1/2 power. And so we can change this into b to the 10th, but that's to the 1/2 power. And what we do with exponents outside of a parentheses is we multiply them together. So really this is b, it's 10 times 1/2, or b to the 5th. Notice there's nothing left. Or let's take this one, for instance, you've got c to the 11th power. If we go ahead and do the exponent rule here, 11 does not divide by 2 evenly, which means we're going to be left with something under a radical. So you can ask yourself, okay, how many times does 11 go into 2? Well, 5 times, but you have a remainder of 1. So your outside exponent, the c's that make it out of the radical, are 5, and then the remainder of 1. So then putting it all together, you've got a 2, an a cubed, a b to the 5th, and a c to the 5th outside of your radical, and under your radical you have a 15, an a, and a c. And so that would be simplifying that radical. You can also add radicals together. The deal is you need to have the same exact radical, and these are not. So the first thing we're going to do is simplify these radicals. And so I'm just going to break this one apart. So we've got, here we are, 5 square root of 2. Now the 8 was outside, so the 8 is going to remain outside and be multiplied. So you've got 40 square root of 2. And then here you've got 9 times 2, or 3 times 3. So this is going to be 3 square root of 2. Bring down the 7. So you've got a 21 square root of 2. Now that you have exactly the same radical, you can add 40 and 21, which gives you 61 square root of 2.